Vehbi Baysan joins me now in the studio. He's an associate professor of history over at Ibn Haldun University. Vehbi, good to have you back on.
Thank you.
Ludovica was actually looking at the period after World War II, the last 70, 80 years. And yes, there's been a lot of fluctuations up and down. Today, Türkiye is part of the G20 countries. But going back 100 years or a little more, the Turkish people were rightly named to be part of a society called the sick man of Europe. There were lots of economic challenges, but sort of the principles and some of the vision that Mustafa Kemal Atatürk had quickly transformed the country to actually to put it on a new path.
Well, indeed, but the roots goes back to the Ottoman Empire, especially in 1840s and certainly on 1850s, when the capital, the money, became a commodity that can be bought or sold. This is to say that you can get credits and you can do a lot of things with it. And that helped the Ottoman economy a little bit, but so much debt actually caused, in the end, a bankruptcy. And then they had to establish this Duyun-u Umumiye, the General Debt Office, in a sense that the economy in the second half of 19th century were given to those creditors because they wanted their money back. Mm-hmm. And that had this devastating effect on it. But when, in 1920s, with the formation or establishment of the new republic, Atatürk and his finance advisors were very careful not to overspend and use whatever available there, because also they inherited unfortunate reparation payments from the Ottoman Empire, and until 1940s they had to pay out those money as well. So it's not like everything is reset and clear in 1920s, we have a new country, move on. So it wasn't that way. So their economic policies were as much possible using national resources, whatever it is, so that we don't import things from abroad. For example, we had a lot of raisins and grapes growing in Turkey. They were saying, vatandaş bunu ye, vatandaş yerli malı kullan. Please, citizens, use local products. So, or figs, or you name it. So there were limited resources, but people managed to do that. However, in 1950s, when we had this multi-party system, things started changing, and slowly but gradually, Turkish economy became part of global economy. And that we see what we call the new international openings, especially after 1990s, paved the way to be fully integrated to the international monetary systems. And of course, you have now what we see. Sometime it came back as a high inflation, sometime with the exchange rate going up and down, etc. But nevertheless, we don't have that in some countries, especially in the Middle East, the protective economies that, you fixation of lira into something. So it's a liberal economy where we are open to international competition as well. So this is our quick...
I think it's a bit unfair to sort of compare us to Middle East economies where their top export is usually one commodity, and it's easy to sort of fix it.
No, I meant the fixation of the currency. Okay. That's why we have the ups and downs.
Okay. Do you feel that when you look at sort of the Turkish economy in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, there is perhaps maybe a desire to return to that, let's go national, let's go domestic, because that is the theme that's being sort of put out there across many things as well, especially looking at the defense sector?
Well, absolutely. But before we come to defense sector, I think now, as it's happening in every global economy, that the consumers very much interested in these international products. That means that your foreign currency is shifted abroad, and if you're not really having certain commodities that you can cash on, you're in trouble. So this is to say, I think, as citizens of any country, but certainly in Turkey, they should use more local ones. At least that would encourage the local production, etc. But when it comes to your question of defense industry, over there, Turkish engineers, Turkish architects, Turkish material scientists are fully involved in that sector. As a result, we can see that new products are developed, attracting international attention. We saw this in the Ukraine-Russia war, which is ongoing there, and even faraway countries now interested in a lot of these high-tech defense systems desired where it's product of Turkey. So I think this is quite encouraging and we should be proud of it, but this is just a start. And I think certain investments in these fields, also the fields that is supporting that industry, will start giving better fruits in the 5 to 10 years.
Vehbi Baysan, thank you very much for the moment. We'll be continuing our theme throughout our special coverage, but thank you very much for now. All right, let's bring